This slide just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? That feeling you can get in your 20s. It's like you're in some kind of race, but you have no idea where the finish line is, or even why you started running in the first place. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, I promise you, you are not alone. And today, we're going to break down why this feeling is so incredibly common, and, more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
This quote from psychiatrist Dr. K just nails that quiet existential dread so many of us feel. You follow the rules, you go to school, you get the job, and then one day you look up and you just feel trapped. And you ask yourself, wait, is this it? Is this all there is? It's that huge gap between the life you thought you were supposed to have and the one you're actually living.
And if you're feeling that way, just look at this number. A LinkedIn study found that a whopping 75% of people between 25 and 33 say they've had a quarter-life crisis. So let's just get this out of the way right now. This is not some kind of personal failure. It's basically a normal, shared experience in modern life.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why it's so normal to feel lost. Then we'll reframe this whole thing as a crisis of opportunity. After that, we'll get into something called the motivation trap. It's what keeps so many people stuck. And finally, the good stuff. We'll lay out some real, actionable steps to help you find your way through the fog.
All right, let's dive into part one. It's normal to feel lost. Seriously, that anxiety, that uncertainty you might be wrestling with, it is not just in your head. It's actually a product of three really powerful forces that make being in your 20s today uniquely challenging.
So the first force is something author Mel Robbins calls the Great Scattering. Just think about it. For your entire life, you and everyone your age were on the exact same track. Same grades, same milestones, same schedule. And then graduation day comes and poof, that whole structure just disappears. Your friends scattered at different cities, different jobs, totally different life timelines. Suddenly that yardstick used to measure your progress is just gone, and it can leave you feeling completely and totally adrift.
The second force is what's called the paradox of choice. Our parents' generation might have had a handful of clear career paths, but us, we see a million different versions of success every single day, scrolling through our phones. And when you combine that with the Great Scattering, where there's no single path to follow, all those options don't feel like freedom. For most of us, it just leads to total paralysis. And this classic study shows this paradox in action perfectly. Researchers set up a table with jam samples. When they offered just 6 kinds of jam, 30% of people who stopped actually bought a jar. But when they offered 24 kinds of jam, that number dropped all the way down to 3%. People were literally 10 times more likely to make a decision when their options were limited. More choice actually led to less action.
And the third big challenge? Oh, it's a big one. It's this intense pressure to perform. There's this crazy cultural story that your 20s are the decade. You have to build the dream career, travel the world, find the one, and have this amazing social life, all at the same time. It basically turns the whole decade into a pressure cooker, where any moment you're not hustling or optimizing feels like you're failing.
Okay, so we've laid out the pressures. Now let's see how they all come together to create what we can call a crisis of opportunity. And the key word here is opportunity. This isn't just about feeling bad. It's a really critical developmental stage that you're actually supposed to go through.
So a quarter-life crisis is basically this period of intense uncertainty about, well, everything. But what I find really fascinating is the Japanese word for crisis. The symbol is actually made of 2 separate characters. One means danger, and the other means opportunity. And that is the perfect way to look at this. The danger is staying stuck where you are. But the opportunity is to finally build a life that is actually right for you.
And it turns out there's actually a map for this crisis. Research shows it tends to happen in 4 distinct phases. It starts with being locked in. That's the feeling of being trapped by what you think you should be doing. Next comes separation, where you start to pull away from that old path, either mentally or physically. That leads to the exploration phase, where you just start trying new things without needing a perfect plan. And finally, you get to the rebuilding phase, where you start to consciously put together a new life that actually feels authentic. Okay, so understanding those phases is one thing, but actually moving through them, that's another story. And this brings us to a huge roadblock, the motivation trap. It's this internal battle that keeps so many of us stuck in those first 2 phases for way too long.
It all comes down to 2 totally different kinds of motivation. On one side, you have extrinsic motivation. This is fueled by outside stuff like fear or a reward, or just trying to get rid of a bad feeling like anxiety. This literally lights up the fear center in your brain. On the other side, you've got intrinsic motivation.
This comes from inside. It's driven by genuine interest and choice, and it happens when that fear center is turned off. So, for example, applying for a bunch of jobs because you're scared of being broke? That's extrinsic. Applying for a job because you're genuinely curious about it? That's intrinsic.
Just recognizing that motivation trap is the first huge step to getting unstuck. And that brings us to our final section, actionable steps to clarity. This is all about learning how to shift from being pushed around by fear to being pulled forward by your own genuine intentions.
So what's in this toolkit? First, learn to take positive risks and fail forward. The goal isn't to get it perfect, it's to learn something. Reframe it in your mind. You either win or you learn. Next, stop trying to make the one perfect right decision. Just make a decision and move. Embrace an exploration mindset, not a finding mindset. You're not trying to find a hidden path, you're building one. And a huge one, act on intention, not on a temporary feeling. Finally, just commit to a small, one-month project to improve just one area of your life. The momentum from those small wins is exactly what will pull you out of the fog.
So when you boil it all down, feeling lost doesn't mean you're failing or that you're broken. It's actually a signal. It's a sign that the old map just doesn't work for you anymore, and it's finally time to start drawing your own. It's a sign that you're ready to build a life that's actually truly yours. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?